In this section, we'll discuss an easy but an interesting topic. It's called probability. Now, with a lot of real life applications, in our day-to-day life, we frequently use words like probably, likely, chances are that. In examples like, let's look at some scenarios. It'll probably rain today. You must have seen that. Germany has a good chance of winning the World Cup. We read things like that. Chances are high that the petrol prices are going up. There's a very good chance that Messi is going to score in the first half itself. Now, these words which are getting highlighted here convey the sense that event is not certain to take place, or there is uncertainty about the happening or the occurring of an event. Now, probability, we are only using words here, right? So probability is actually a branch of mathematics to measure this uncertainty of these events using numbers. So when we use numbers, so in math, obviously we'll end up using numbers. So rather than just mentioning that there's a very good chance that the event will happen, it's highly unlikely that it's going to rain today. We are only using words here. We'll try putting some numbers to it when it comes to mathematics. Now, in common language, the word probability is used to mean the chance that a particular event will occur expressed on a scale from 0 to 1. Now, 0 will represent impossibility and 1 will represent certainty. Or when you are sure about it, we'll use 1. When it's impossible, that will represent 0. It can also be expressed as a percentage between 0 and 100%. So we'll understand this in detail in this particular section. This particular branch of probability, though it started with gambling, it's been widely used in almost every field, like in the field of physical sciences, commerce, biological science, medical science, weather forecasting, almost everywhere. Now, there are different approaches to the theory of probability. Here I am going to discuss what is required as part of this section is experimental approach to probability. It's also called empirical approach or observed frequency approach. So that's what I'm going to discuss in this particular section. So here we'll discuss experimental approach. Now, before I discuss the approach, word experiment means, as all of you know, an operation which can produce some well-defined outcomes. So, experiment is nothing but an operation which will produce some clearly defined outcomes. Now, when you perform an experiment, it is called trial of the experiment. For example, if a coin is tossed 10 times, then each coin toss is a trial. Or for that matter, if 2 coins are tossed simultaneously and it's repeated 20 times, that is 2 coins getting simultaneously. If you repeat that 20 times, each simultaneous toss of 2 coins is a trial. Or like that, if a die is thrown, if a cubical die, if it's thrown 5 times, each throw is a trial. So trial is nothing but when you perform an experiment, it's called a trial. So these are like 2 words which are like closely related. Experiment is where you get a clearly defined outcome. When you perform an experiment, it's called a trial. Now these terms are important because you'll keep on hearing about this in this particular section. They are very simple terms. Chapter as such is easy to understand. Something which you can finish off within an hour. Because these are things which you will easily relate. Things which happen around us.